These other micro moments were filled with a good old slap on the back from a buddy, and there's a little too much cushion there where it just stung enough with that slap. I'm like, that shouldn't feel that way.
Welcome everyone to the Kettlebell Guys Show. My name's Coach Grant. I'm here with my guy, my partner, Sean Griffin, and we are joined by one of KT's finest, Mr. Jason Wilderson. Jason, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, guys. It's exciting.
Jason, just to kick this off real quick, can you give some background on yourself? Where do you live? What's family life like? What do you do for work? Whatever you're willing to share.
I do help run a wealth management firm here in Indianapolis.
Nice.
And wasn't born in Indianapolis. I actually grew up in Ohio and was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But family migrated our way out here to Indiana, and it's been home since '97. And went to Butler University, graduated in '08. So
Bulldog.
Married, 2 kids, married to an IU alum, and they are rocking and rolling right now. I know Sean
They are.
likes to hear that.
Yes, sir. Amazing. And then Jason, how long have you been in KT?
Since October of 24, so just a little over a year now.
Wow. Okay, just over a year. And so take us back to let's take us back to September of 24. Jason Wilderson. What were you? Where were you then? What were you kind of looking for? How did you come across KT initially?
Sure. Yeah. So it was probably a couple micro moments over several years prior to that. Just an influx of weight up to 230 probably in my early 30s. And then I was approaching, I was 38, and I've had these like micro moments of my family members that are much, much older, that just unable to really hang out with the girls at their level, getting on the ground, getting on the floor. And we actually do have a great grandmother in the family that is able to get on the ground. And so it's kind of cool to see that, but then contrast to the other family members that are unable to. And so just this thing started percolating in my mind, just the longevity, being healthy, being strong, even in your later years, got me thinking in this direction. And then these other micro moments were filled with just, the good old slap on the back from a buddy, and there's a little too much cushion there where it just stung enough with that slap. I'm like, that shouldn't feel that way. And so just little things added up. And I was probably sitting around 220 in May of last year in 24. And then I started going down this path. It's like, I just need to do something. I think you guys just started popping up on Instagram feeds as most KT guys first hear about you guys. Just kind of, that was history. Once I took that phone call, I was sitting at 217 probably then, and got down to 197 and been hovering around 200, which was my original goal. So savage.
So so 2 things there. You're looking into the future. You're like, where do I actually want to be when I'm 60, 70, 80 plus years old?
Yeah.
But then there's also just the immediate present now of like, okay, I'm not where I want to be physically. Like, I don't feel great. Someone gives me a pat on the back and it's like, ooh, that's not how that should feel.
Yeah.
And so then, but you said you were feeling that in like the spring. So it was like 4, 5, 6 months of you like thinking about this.
Yeah. It took me some time to really, I didn't really find you guys until probably that September timeframe, and then was considering it. And I was like, I should probably call these guys, and something just triggered. It's like, you know what, if I don't do this now, I'm 38. I have 18 months until I turn 40, which is in April of this year. So I'm really close to 40. And I just was like, I need to do something. I need to do something different. Why not now? Why wait until I'm 40? Like, I'm still in my 30s. I can say I got strong in my 30s before my 40s, so I can have an awesome decade between 40 and 50. So, and then for the rest of my life too. So it just was this culmination of things that got me to reach out to you guys.
So Jason, I'm wondering, you mentioned that you started thinking about it, in the spring, and then didn't take action until you found us in September. In that time frame, do you think you would have taken action had you found us earlier? Or do you think you needed a solid 5-6 months where you were like, I need to do something, but I'm still kind of in this, am I going to do it myself, or do I need to hire someone? Or do you have any sense of what that gap was?
Well, it was more or less. I've never done a program like this. I've done the Peloton thing. I got the bike during the pandemic, did a little bit of exercises, but short of high school programs, like I've done nothing. I stayed somewhat in shape playing intramural soccer and just golfing. That's really my main, I guess, physical activities that I was doing up until that point. And then I just realized like I have personal business coaches that helped me along the way, and I just know like I experienced that so much in my career and just where I am now that I know if I was to take that next step, I needed that level of accountability, but also a system. I'm a systems guy. I love systems, and you tell me what to do and how to do it, I'm going to do it. Uh, and when I finally came to the realization I should reach out to you guys, I had I did reach out to you guys, and I had the phone call with Casey, and it was just one call, and he's really good, really talented guy. And he just pulled out all the reasons why I wanted to do what I was looking for, kind of the things I shared with you, the longevity, be strong, be active for not just now, but the rest of my life. And then he just finally said, well, if not now, then when are you going to do this? And I'm like, you're right. Like I've been percolating this idea. If I don't do something, let's do it. And I think I shared this with you, Grant, when we got together last year in 25. Like if this program was $1,000, right? I probably would have signed up, but I wouldn't have made any change, right? I don't think I would have made as much of a change that I would have. And the fact that it's more than that, and it made me a little uncomfortable. And I'm like, well, I think that's exactly what I need to really get committed and make the change that I'm looking for. And so it really just created that level of commitment, right? Prior to me making that commitment financially, I was very interested in getting more in shape. And there's a difference between commitments and being interested, right?
Darn
We
right.
are interested in a lot of things in life, but how committed are we to the things? And I think there's something that I've taken from our business experience,
From your business coaching,
just
right?
now. Yeah, business coaching is like, how committed am I? And I think that financial commitment was the tipping point.
That's huge. Yeah, that awareness, I think, and especially it sounds like you had prior experience with business coaching, and so probably understood like, oh yeah, this was stuff I wanted to fix in my business or I wanted to learn or get better at, and I never really committed to it until I bit the bullet, hired a coach, had a real system, and then all of a sudden something that I knew I wanted to do, and maybe even I knew kind of what to do, but I wasn't doing it because I wasn't truly committed to seeing it through. You're right. And Grant and I have had the same experiences in our business coaching life of even if you think you know something and maybe you already do know something, but you haven't invested anything into it. It's like, well, you're not invested. And so you kind of half-ass it and,
Exactly.
That's cool.
And you get the half-assed result that
you do
put in. So
you do. Totally right, dude.
And so I just had to put my whole entire trust into this program and the guys. And so like I did buy a bell prior to that phone call in that month of September. I think I did just throw on YouTube, found a video, and it might have been a 16K that I was doing. I'm like, all right, this is kind of cool, but I'm like, I still don't get why people were so into it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I really started following you guys that I was starting to pick up on it.
There's
Man,
that
that's
saying,
huge.
There's that saying of you vote with your dollars on what's important to you, but like the hard part is deciding what's actually important to you, like what's truly important, where you're going to invest. So when you decided if it was going to be $500 to $1,000, you're like, okay, I probably would have signed up. I wouldn't have been committed. You decided to make the investment, which is one of the first big hurdles for guys when they join KT. How did you feel when you did that? Were you nervous? Were you confident? Had you done a lot of research on us before that?
So the research was limited. I would say if my wife listens to this, she'd be like, you didn't do much research. That's wild because I normally research a lot of things really well. And it was kind of a little bit of a blind faith as I started seeing your guys' reels, I was like looking at all these guys and your guys' reels of like the transformations that they've had. I'm like, if these guys are saying what they're saying and saying it, even if it's 80% true, then where I'm going to be is, and probably in this space that I'm looking to go, I'm not looking to drop 50 pounds. Like I wasn't looking to drop a lot of weight. What I really wanted was just a system to get strong and create this longevity and a better health trajectory than I was on. Like that's what I was looking for. And I'm like, if I just do a little bit of what they're doing, I will certainly get to where I want to be. And so that was the limited research that I was doing before I committed. And at that point, it was more the question that Casey asked, like, if not now, then when? And he's like, you're right. Like, I know I need a coach. If you guys are as good as you guys say you are, great. Like, I'll get closer to where I'm at.
Mm.
And so I just put faith and trust into the system and what you guys are saying.
Man. Yeah, that's interesting. So you were ready for a solution, and you knew that solution for you was going to be a high level of coaching. And it sounds to me like what was like the only thing you really needed to see was like, just show me a bunch of proof that this actually does what it says it's going to do. And as long as you can show me that, I'm willing to just trust that this is going to work.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's exactly how I am in my decision making in that realm as well. You know, it's like once I know I want something, I'm like, okay, who the hell do I need to pay? Who's got the proof that they've done exactly what I'm trying to do? And here's my money, and just show me what to do so I can do that exactly. Yep. Like that's what you did, essentially. It sounds like
that's what I did. And I was asking him. I was like, show me the app. Show me the program. He's like, I got nothing to show you, man.
He's like, you don't care about that.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I love that. That's hilarious because it's so true, right? It's like you just have to at some point be like, I'm going to place faith in this. Mm-hmm. There's going to be work, right? It's you weren't tricking yourself into being like, I'm just going to give you money and I'm going to transform. It's like, no, I'm going to have to work out. I'm going to have to change how I'm eating. But that stuff is less important than you believing that the system is going to work. Because once you believe it's going to work, you invest your money and then it's like, okay, that part's out of the way. Now teach me what to do and I'll do it. And you've done that beautifully, which I'm sure we'll get to, but
yeah.
Cool. Okay. So now we're into the kind of the mindset of the decision making, which is good.
Well, you said, okay, so if you guys are as good as you say you are, so talk to us about what was your first couple weeks like? What was your first couple months like? Did we end up living up to your expectations?
Yes. Yes, you did. And I think my onboarding with the coach I had at the time was great. It was excellent. Exactly what I needed. Just show me the way. I had never touched a kettlebell other than that one YouTube video that I found, and I had a kettlebell 16K, and that was the only thing I've done. So a Turkish get up was completely foreign to me. The 2-hand swing, I'm sure I looked funky as all get out and just discombobulated from what I was really thinking a two-hand swing is. It's all arms, right, guys? It's no legs, but like I'm sure I look like a chicken with his head cut off for sure during that onboarding. And I did find a video of me doing one of my get-ups, and I'll have to send it to you guys. It was just the most awkward-looking thing.
Can't wait.
So going from no kettlebell experience, and those 2 weeks were really important for me just to get the confidence. Day one, week one of KT, I literally had bloody hands, and it was my first post on the forum. Like, look at these bloody hands. I hear a lot of blood and sacrifice and tears come out of this program, and here I am on day one. So that was my initiation to kettlebells.
I remember that post, and I was thinking maybe gripping the bell a little too hard.
Maybe use some more chalk, right? That's exactly what I probably should have done.
But didn't you hurt your rib? I feel like for some reason I remember you hurt your rib cage pretty early on too.
I was going to go to that. Yeah, I had like a rib slip here in the front of just the lower level, right? Very uncomfortable. And you're like in the front, like, well, that's strange. And it's just because the arms, I was probably doing it wrong a little bit, and my technique wasn't as sharp as it is today. But it definitely was hurting. And the biggest part that it hurts, the rib slip, is really the back. Like right when you're coming down on a get up, like you're putting that pressure on the rib cage, and it pushes towards the front near that sternum part. And so it was very uncomfortable. It was about week 3 that I finally said, hey, I need to go see my PCP and talk to him. And he's like, Jason, you're trying
quit
too
kettlebells.
much. Quit kettlebells. What are you doing? The fulcrum is on your arms. Like, why would you do these swings? Like, just ride a bike and do a plank for 45 seconds every morning, and you're going to be good. Needless to say, I am in the market for a new PCP. One that is more aligned.
Yeah, right. I remember that really well because I've had that injury a few times as well. And if it was anything like what I've had, it's like it'll hurt to breathe. Like it'll hurt to get out of bed. You're like, oh, man, that is not right. And we've had a few people have that injury, and it can be one of those, like, especially when it's in week 3, you're like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, this is not the right program. I'm already hurt. Right. So what was you went to see your doctor. What was your mindset ever like? questioning whether or not you should give up? Or was it kind of like, no, I just need to let this rest and I'm going to get right back to it? Like, where were you at then?
No, it's going to go back to that commitment, right? The financial commitment and the commitment to what I wanted. I'm like, I have to see this program through. I'm a bit of a loyalist at heart. And so it's like, but also just, I made a commitment. I'm going to finish this through. Thank you for your suggestion of giving this up, but I don't think you understand the real mechanics of it. And I did do a follow-up with them towards like last May. So it was after the KT program, and my numbers were just through the chart and everything else. So it was really cool to see that and kind of like laugh in his face a little bit. But the mindset was, hey, I'm committed and I'm gonna see this through, because it was important for me to uphold that commitment.
Yeah. So take us through the evolution of your belief in the program, Jason. Take us through the evolution of your results in the program. You've been in it for over a year now. Mm-hmm. How did that evolve over time? Like, how would you explain to someone the experience that you went through over the last 12, 14 plus months?
It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done from a physical standpoint. But if you guys, like the program itself, like you can get the document, the Excel sheet that you guys have from the beginning, like you can print it out and like, this could be it. This is all I needed. But that's not going to get you from point A to point B. That's the roadmap, right? What's going to get you there is having that coach, those constant check-ins on a weekly basis, and especially early on, high touch frequency with your coach, dialing in that technique, sending the videos back and forth. That part was incredible and very helpful for me. And then just the community. I think at the end of the day, having a group of men, I think I even used the word, this legion of men of, showing up daily, of just constant and never ending relentless pursuit of what they're trying to do individually, but everybody's in it together. And so we have a common goal here of becoming better men than we were yesterday. And so it's just really cool that everybody dives in, supports one another. Like even when I was in that injury, I had so much support reaching out, like, hey, like, how are you doing with that injury? Like, and not just from the coaches, it's from the community that really care about your progress. And so there's some key guys that were there that really helped me during that time. So it was really the community at the end of the day that I think pulls it through. The coaching is excellent. And then the program itself 4 times a week, and steps of nutrition, like that part started showing up very quickly. Like I was dropping weight fast. And as most guys do, those first 5 to 10 pounds come off very quickly. And then getting stronger in the progression, going from really 0K bells on my get ups to now 41. It's just, I say 41K because it was a 90 pounder.
Yeah,
but it is just the evolution is just really cool, and never in my wildest dreams would I thought I could lift up 90 pounds.
Can let's pause there for a second, because I really love that part, because you mentioned how the weight came off fast, and it sounds like when you got as high as 230 at some point, but when you started with KT, you said you were 217, I think, and you've gotten down to 197, right? Yeah. So and stayed there, and so. I mean, not to belittle it, but it's only 20 pounds. It's not a massive weight loss, like you said, right? It's like, I didn't have 50 pounds to lose. And you also said that you came in with the goal of, I want to get stronger. I want my longevity trajectory to change from where it is today. So when you think about your progress with Bells, do you feel like it aligns with the type of I want to get stronger mindset that you had when you started? Or are you beyond a point now where you could have envisioned at the start? Or were you like, no, I want to get to 40K get-ups and 48K get-ups? Because I think a lot of guys come to us, they want to get stronger, but they don't really have any idea what that is or what that looks like or what that's going to look like inside of KT until they get going. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, a 24K. Whoa, at 28K. And then all of a sudden they're like, whoa, maybe I could get even stronger. Like, how did that evolve for you?
Yeah. And I will say that's very real. And just going from 0 to 41, just mentally, that's wild to think about. But each step, each progression up a belling up, each one, you're like, no way can I do this? No way can I do that. And I think even Peter, my coach, said, just the daily, habits of just doing this, you eventually get to a point where you're staring, because you do end up buying up a couple bells to sit there for a while. You might be doing it with the swings, but from a get up perspective, you're staring at it and you're like, yeah, let me see if I can get it up. Oh, yep, I can get it up, but let's not do it today. And so until you're ready to do it, you'll know the day. It's like, all right, today's the day I'm just going to do it. and just happened to be January 1st that I really cranked into it. I was like, let's get after it. And so it's just really cool. The micro results just along the way is just part of the process. It's not. I'm not really seeking a result. Let's put it that way. I am seeking a journey of continued strength, and just at some point it will be a maintenance of strength. And I'm just excited to continue to show up and just do that. And that's what I was looking for. I was like, I was horrible at doing commitments, historically. And so it's like, if I can show up and do 4 times a week for an entire year, that's a huge win. I don't care about nutrition. I don't care about steps. Yes, I did that here and there, and nutrition is an opportunity for me to continue. And it's not like I'm trying to lose again another 20 pounds. I might be comfortable losing another 8 to 10, but it's not something I'm desiring as much as it is the consistent commitment to the weekly workout.
Amen,
Jason.
Dude.
When you said
That's
when you said I was horrible at commitments previously, do you mean like fitness wise? Do you mean like trying to be consistent with working out, trying to be consistent with nutrition before in your early 30s, or is that what you meant by that?
I'm horrible with commitments. Just I'm an idea guy. I love ideas. I can run around with ideas. Execution might have been a better word around that level of commitment. So there was some times and moments where it's like, yeah, let's get into this workout regime. Even with the Peloton in 2020, 21, like I was not consistent at all. Like, and that's just like, you can say, hey, I want to do this program. You can have the program, you can have the sheet, you can have what you need to do. But again, it's the coaching, it's the support that just rounds out.
But the ultimate goal, sorry, Seamus, so you're talking about like you lost 20 pounds, you're stronger objectively than where you were. You're completely different. You're living in a different body than you were over a year ago. But seemingly the number one change for you is like who you are now when it comes to your health and fitness, like your mentality around what you deem to be negotiable, non-negotiable, how you take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I don't know if that was a question, but like you're confirming it in a way of like, hey, yeah, I am a different person. I do feel stronger. I mean, golf has been so much more fun to be able to throw in the back. I wasn't walking as much, now I'm walking more, and it's just
baby.
It's a lot of fun just to be able to do things on a daily basis, literally rolling out of bed. It's kind of like the get up. You just crank down on the elbow there and you roll over. So it's just feeling just, there's little moments throughout your day and you're like, yeah, I feel great. And too often in the past, that just was not the case.
Jason, I'm wondering about because you said your ultimate goal was to arrive at this, like, hey, if I did a year straight of 4 days a week, that's going to be a big win. Obviously, a lot of guys come to us with big time body composition goals, which wasn't necessarily yours. But and I don't know if this is much as a question as much as me just kind of confirming this in my own mind and maybe trying to get your blessing for this. But you mentioned having the financial commitment being an important one, right? You mentioned having the coaching, the community. And now we've also touched on this like micro gains, belling up, as you alluded to, right? Buying the next couple bells up and then being able to watch it. Like, it kind of feels like you had all these elements kind of working towards you consistently showing up to the point where it just is like, now, like Grant just said, it's like, now you're a different guy now. It's like, now it's not even a question of whether or not you're going to do it. It's like, no, I have the structure in place for me to actually continue to show up. And now it's less about big body comp goals. I'm even approaching now where I might be in like this. Now it's more just maintenance. Like, I'm no longer, I'm not chasing these big things anymore. I'm just trying to maintain, right? I mean, is that kind of where you?
Yeah, there's I'd say, no, you are correct. That has been a great summary of this past year and where I am today. And I think there is a level of more strength I can, and maybe I'm starting to get that itch of like, hey, let's get a little stronger. Like, let's do that. I think there is some room for, a little bit better muscle mass, correct, and maybe a little bit leaner on the body fat. But I'm not like die hard, like I gotta get it. And I'm really excited about just where I am today and where it's going. So
right.
I don't see myself stopping. That's for sure. It's hard. It's hard to stop the momentum. So.
And that's also like, if you think about where you are today versus where you were when you started KT, like, if you just do what you just said, which is don't stop, you already know you're going to go from 40 to 44 to 48 to 56. You're going to also be piling on new skills on top of that. These things will just happen based on you showing up. And that's the great part about, I feel like, having a consistent routine and having a progressive program. If you have those two things in place, then it's just time. You just need time, right? It's like
time.
You don't have to have these big stretch goals, right?
Yep. No, it's exactly it. I mean, it's the first KT program. Some people will look at it, it's like you're just doing swings and get-ups 10 by 10, 10. I mean, just over and over again, and that can be monotonous. But I think that's the foundational piece that you need. And then when you get to that moment of committing again to the next level of the mastery program, that was a little bit of another oh shit moment, because after I did make that commitment, there was a little bit of an oh shit moment of like, oh gosh, like I'm really doing this. But that mastery level, I'm like, oh shit, like look at these moves these guys are doing. Like, can I really do that? And so I was questioning myself in that moment. And then it's like, you know what? This program has taught me one thing. Like, I couldn't do this, 16 weeks ago doing the basics. And these are new moves I've never done before. What would be any different? And just trusting the program and sticking to the plan.
Good for you, man. Making that first commitment and then making the second one. A lot of guys see success in the first program and then they don't make that second commitment like you did. I think I'd be interested to hear from you how you feel about what if you would have stopped at that point, knowing that you saw success in that first 16 weeks. You learned these core movements that you're still doing consistently. You saw the early weight loss. What do you think would have happened if you would have been like, you know what, it's not worth it for me to invest again. I'm just going to take what I've learned and I'm going to go do it on my own.
So I just, that's a great question. Like, I think it's hard to imagine, first of all, but the thing that I think would happen would be a regression for sure. I would regress. I would say, I'd give myself an out easily. It's like, hey, gosh, I don't have to do 4 this week. I can do 3, and then like you do 3 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row, and it's like, I don't need. Okay, I'm going to do 2 just this week. It's a busy week. It just excuses would start piling in, and I'd give myself grace.
You'd negotiate.
I would negotiate with myself, and I would lose every time. That's for sure.
So do you think that's what you gained?
Yeah. I think
like by investing in mastery, by making that second investment. Because a better way to maybe ask that question would have been like, what do you feel like you really gained from that second investment other than new skills?
That I can do this. 2, that I can keep commitments to myself. And that's, like I said early on, I think that's one thing that I wanted to prove to myself as well, is like, I can do this and commit and, keep the commitments. So that's really that's pretty much the good summary of that is just like it gained the perspective that I can do it and I can do it consistently. And why stop? If you just go back to your why at the end of the day, it's like, well, why did I sign up for this? And that keeps pulling me forward. Keeping that accountability, keeping the community, keeping the coaching is icing on top.
I love that, man.
We've definitely seen that. We've seen where guys have chosen not to continue past, whatever checkpoints they were at. And then they start to negotiate, because we'll follow up and keep in touch with a lot of guys who did KT, but they started to negotiate with themselves. 4 down to 3, 3 down to 2, taking the summer off. I'll get back to it in the winter. Like, that's a slippery slope. Like, if you don't,
it is,
because you have to be in it long enough for you to really make the change. Because if you go down the road and you start negotiating with yourself, well, then you didn't change who you were. You didn't change at your core what you actually deemed to be important to you in your life. You just did what a lot of guys have done in the past, which is like be consistent for a couple months, and then something happens and you just slowly lose that commitment. So that's why we obviously, the guys who are with us for 2 to 3 years, those guys are the guys who are just like complete savages. They're never the same. They actually change the next 20 to 30 plus years, for all the reasons that you mentioned, Jason. I'm curious, do you, so the people in your life, your family, your wife, your kids, your friends, do they notice a different Jason?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So family, first of all, like I'll take a step back. early on in the program, first beginning of KT, I was like, I have this unfinished space in my basement. I really want to fix this up. Like, I want to further commit to this. Let's build out this space. So my dad, who's now 73, joined me in framing up the room, putting everything together, getting the lighting and all that. So that alone for the first 10 weeks of KT was a really cool added treat, like in between doing the workouts, work and all that, and the family life.
That.
Spent time with my dad, who, we did build our own, build out our own basement when I was growing up in our childhood home. And so it was fun to redo that small space, but it was really fun to spend those first couple of weeks doing that with him. So that was one thing. And so time is really important with for me. I think most people would agree that time is our most important asset. Secondary is health, and then maybe money, but people oftentimes put money before time and health. And so what we do, and just what I see with my family, is like this, just being able to pick up the girls. We call this 2-girl moment, like where I can just scoop up both girls in both arms. And if I'm holding one of them, the other girl will say, 2 girls, 2 girls. And I'm like, all right, 2 girls, let's go. And so just walking around, man, whether it's just easy to transport them in and out, just picking them up, is just, to be able to do that's really cool. And then, my wife the other day is like, Jason, like you got some great, you've done a lot of work. Like, look at this muscle. Like this was not there. And I never had it in the first place, like to begin with. Like, so she was complimenting me, and it's like, it's like, I haven't done much. Like, you have no idea. Do you not realize the amount of work you just put into it over the last year? And it's very true. And sometimes I'm just so in the moment, or just future focused, I don't look backwards. And I try to teach myself the mindset of how to measure success is looking backwards and not forward. And it's a good book. I mentioned it recently in the school thread, is the gap and the gain mindset. So often do we measure success on, right? If we're trying to get here, but we only came here and we started down here, we often look between here and here. So like, why did we not get here? Like, we focus too much energy on like why we didn't achieve it, instead of turning around and like, gosh, look at what we all achieved during this time that we would never have done otherwise if we didn't do the systems that we did. And so that gap and gain mindset is just really been powerful for me to I
like that.
It's a moment of gratitude to look backwards rather than guilt and shame for what we didn't accomplish. And so it's another mindset piece of mine that I've it's helped me a lot, because too often
it's huge,
look at, like, we just beat ourselves up for not getting it all the way done. And it's almost like the goal, we always have to have a goal. Don't get me wrong. Like, you have to have a goal, right? You want to get to that goal. But I think success is the best way I've heard it defined, is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So that worthy ideal is out there, and it should always be out there. And it's that worthy ideal may evolve, and that's okay. But do you ever have to really achieve the worthy ideal? Because if you can look backwards and say, oh gosh, look how far I came, like I am heading in the right direction.
Dude,
it's really cool. So
progressive realization. No, that's so good though, because you're totally freaking right, man. It's like the progressive realization of a worthy goal, right? Or of a worthy ideal.
Yeah.
And that's like, in other words, saying, look, if it's an ideal, we all have to be honest with ourselves. We're never going to get there. It's an ideal. And like you said, the field goal posts are always going to move. They're always going to move. If you would have looked back a year ago and been like, I'm going to be doing 41 kg get-ups, your old self probably would have been like, dude, there's no way you're going to get hurt. You're going to fall off. Like, it's just not even possible. And progressively over the last year, you've kind of just unlocked that by default from showing up, because you've just been progressively getting stronger. And, is it ideal? It might have been a year ago, but now you're like, I can probably get even stronger in that now. Right. It's like
halfway through. Yeah, you're right. And halfway through the year, I was like, oh, let's in my little goal sheet on my phone, I put 44 kg by year end. I'm like, I'm not like, it's okay. It's my goal, but I'm still going to get a heck of a lot stronger if I keep doing what I'm doing. And I showed up and still got the 41. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'll get to 44 pretty soon, I feel like, because it's only 7 pounds more than the other ones. So
you probably already have it.
Yeah, you
probably already have it. You just haven't tried it yet. That's really good. That gap and gain, I like that perspective. Grant and I feel like we actually do that fairly well. I mean, Grant and I are definitely forward lookers, and like, it's always a challenge to not compare yourself to others, right? Like I know a lot of times guys in our community will feel that sense of like, oh my gosh, look at how much further ahead some guys are than me. But when they have that perspective of like, well, wait, I started at nothing and I'm doing, 20 kg now or 24 kg now, like that's pretty cool. It's like, that is pretty cool, man. Like you're on your way. It's just time that separates you. It's nothing else, right? Those guys are all a year ahead of you or 2 years ahead of you.
Yeah, and that's great perspective, and it's just a good reminder. And I think the coaches do a good job of that. Like, there's too often where I'm like, I got to do these things. I got to just like, hey, dude, just like it's okay. It's okay if you're hurt or like don't work out today. Just push it another day or two, and you're gonna be just fine. Or let's go light this week. Still stay on the program. Just go light, and like you're gonna be okay. And I think that is very helpful because you just, again, it's just where you were, where you are today is not the same. And that's the beauty in it. And where you're going is just, I mean, you have that ideal, but it's just keep progressing every day, and keep that constant and continuous improvement is what you just got to be looking at doing.
So
Fired up
let's stay on the topic of coaches here. You are, you're working with Coach Peter, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I always like to give guys an opportunity to talk about their coach on this podcast. So I want to give you the floor to talk about Hot Pete.
Yeah.
Peter Leonard. Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah. Leonard. Yeah. So I don't know who started the mustache. Was that you, Sean, or him? I know he had one there during the holidays.
Oh, did he?
Like a side. I thought he did.
He probably did. Yeah.
I think it might have been for Halloween.
Yeah. He does November usually. So he probably had one in November.
Oh, yeah. No, Pete is, he's awesome. Talk about a guy that just is relentless in making sure that you're heard, seen, and get a moment with him. And he cares about me, and which is great. I can sense that from him. And unfortunately, I had the opportunity to switch coaches after my KT program or towards the end of my KT program because one guy just had to leave, and which is totally fine for personal reasons. And he was excellent too. So the training you guys are doing was phenomenal. So I don't feel like I missed a beat. Really, it was just a great opportunity to switch over to Peter's team, and he's been really good for me. So appreciate you, Pete.
Appreciate you too, Pete. Now, should we talk about your golf game? I think that's where this has to go next.
I mean, we could. I would love to say it like KT improved me by 60 yards. I'm now hitting 300-yard bombs, and my index is down by 5. Like,
then just say that, whether it's true or not.
You said two girls, and then you said your wife said hubba hubba. I was expecting the next thing out your mouth to be, I'm hitting 350-yard bombs.
300 bombs.
Scratch. I'm scratch. Yeah.
Yeah. No, my buddies definitely know, like, I'm not at scratch, but I am certainly, looking towards my worthy ideal. So if you guys can create a program around golfing, things, that'd be really helpful for me. I think I might actually see a lot of gains there. So, but golf game is much stronger than what it was. Excited about it and continuing it for the rest of my life, just like this.
Well, we're coming up on the end of the podcast. Seamus, you want to take him into some of the rapid fire questions?
Well, I want to ask just one question real quick for you, Jason, before we go rapid fire. I'm curious to hear from you. What's like the most unexpected, I guess, surprise, for you? Like, what's something that's happened based on going through the KT program that you just maybe wouldn't have thought?
I mean, it's got to be. Coming in from what I didn't know to what I know now is kettlebells seem very foreign to a lot of people because it is in a way, but it's also the most simplistic thing that I think can get the workout you need. It's a really cool tool that I'm excited that I found it in so many different ways. But I think that's the thing that surprised me the most. I didn't realize what was all possible with the use of a kettlebell, and obviously also what was possible for myself to achieve. So I think I'd say the biggest surprise.
Yeah, just like unlocking a version of physical capability that maybe you didn't even know you had when you started, at least from a kettlebell training perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much from a golf perspective, as you've alluded to. Not yet, anyway.
Yet.
Not yet.
You're not at that part of the
telling you right
progression
now.
yet.
Yes. Did we
Nice,
talk?
man.
I'm sorry. Did we? I'm not to interrupt the rapid fire, but did Grant ever tell you how when we first met? We met in Arizona. I was at a conference, and I said, "Hey, let's go play golf," and was able to get on this nice golf course. And he brought two friends, both girls, and he says before we meet, is like, "We've never met in person, Grant and I, or really talked much." And he's like, "Don't worry, they are sticks. They're gonna be really good." And I'm sitting there sweating, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, one is 8 months pregnant." And I'm like, okay. And they were good. Don't get me wrong. They were good. But here we are in the driving range, and I'm warming up. They're in front of me as I'm right-handed warming up. I just got off a plane not an hour ago in Phoenix, and here I am literally shanking balls to the right. I'm like, I'm so frustrated with myself. I just met Grant for the first time, and he's bringing these two sticks, and I'm going to crumble. Like, this is an awful moment. And
incredible.
Thankfully, I was able to correct everything and
you dominated
a reasonable round. But you still beat me. But yeah,
you dominated.
I turned it around.
They were
so I don't know if you
sticks,
saw those
though.
shanks. I wasn't bringing those up, but they were.
Oh, he saw them. I'm just kidding.
Still want to say
that's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you recovered. That would have been truly embarrassing. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been at our very worst on the golf course, I think.
For sure.
Probably in the best ways.
So
okay, rapid fire. Let me see if I can remember our rapid fire questions. First question, your favorite kettlebell exercise?
It's going to be the get up, even though like this snatch is coming in close. If it wasn't for my hands getting chewed up as much as they are, I am doing it looser, but it's still, these calluses are growing. That's for sure. But
yes, sir.
The get up is where it's at.
Love it, man. Agreed with snatches. Once you figure out the hand piece, they're just so fun. Mm-hmm. They're like the combination of a swing and a get up in the best way. Nice, man. Yeah, I remember you recently posted about first hitting your 41 kg PR, but also I think you said you snatched the 28 kg. Is that, am I remembering that right?
Yeah.
That feels good, right?
It does. Can't wait for the third too. It's around the corner.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, when you start snatching heavy, I feel like it's just fun. It's a fun movement to do with heavy weight. Good stuff. What's your go-to favorite weight? You can only bring one weight with you for you're on a freaking desert island for 30 days. What are you bringing?
Besides water, I would say the 28 right now, because it's a snatch. You can get a lot of good ups. You can, even though just with this recent strength find for me, I still think the 28, because you can do one hand swings. You can there's a lot of variability with it and different options there. So
I like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
Nice. Last question. Some guy's on the fence. He's where you were prior to joining KT, and he's weighing his decisions. He's trying to make a decision as to whether or not he would do it. What are you going to say to this guy? Honest advice for this guy.
You picked up the call, or you took the call for a reason. Think through that reason as to why you're having this phone call and what change you ultimately want. And if not exactly what Casey said, if not now, then when are you going to do it? And then just trust the process. Trust yourself, trust the process, and you'll see the results you want to see.
That's great. Such good advice. If not now, when? And trust the process. You're a system guy, man. You're a freaking KT guy. It sounds like your ethos fits in real well with just how we design KT, which is not surprising to hear that you've been succeeding in it for a lot of those reasons. It's just the alignment there. That's really cool. Is that how you run your business?
I mean, systems win, people fail.
Yeah.
Systems win, people fail. And
it's the truth.
Human nature is a failed investor too, is another great saying that I like to say. But that's a different pod.
Yeah. That's when we come on your business's podcast.
Yeah, there we go. I love that. Jason, thank you for your time, buddy. Seriously, we really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Just a few months we'll be back on the golf course. Indiana has to win a national championship first. The Bears have to win a Super Bowl first, but once all those things happen.
Now that the Colts are they had a great first half, so
bummer for
Hoosiers
them, man.
took the torch the second half there of carrying our fandom. So, but I would be remiss if I didn't, finish off the podcast here with thanking the two of you for having the vision to create something so cool, but also so effective in a very simplistic way. So I assume I'm speaking on behalf of all the other KT guys. Like, just thank you both for creating this community, and thank you for doing this. And I heard and saw that your goal this year is 2,000 KTers. So I'm excited to see how we can help. And
yes,
I hope you guys achieve that, because I realize that a lot of people won't be able to join this program for many reasons, but money shouldn't be one of them. And I just think that the more people that can get exposed to it, the greater you're going to do with the men that are around this community, but also just the people that they affect in their own personal life. And so I just think there's a lot of gratitude coming from me, but also from the rest of these guys. I know that say this a lot. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for saying that, man. Appreciate it. It means a lot to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Truly.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for listening. If you want to check out the program that Jason did, go to kettlebelltransformation.co. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, at the Kettlebell Guys, at Kettlebell Sean, at Kettlebell Grant. See you guys next time.
That's it. Thanks for joining.